Hello, welcome back to the Mr. Arsenal podcast for another match day watch along, match day 2 of the Euros. Match number 3 in general, Spain versus Croatia. I say probably the better game of the 3 today. As I say, I'm not doing all the games this tournament in general. That was even before the news this morning, so to get into in a sec. Just because it's not worthwhile. And it's better. I've got a lot, plus I've got a life, and you need to get out and about and all that. But yeah, before we get into the game itself, I've always got the teams up on my screen now for kick-off. Sadly, from the Arsenal point of view, we've had some very sad and distressing news today in the Arsenal community. Arsenal legend, Everton, Forest legend, amongst other clubs, Kevin Campbell has sadly passed away this morning in the early hours. It started creeping out around 8, half 8 onwards. About 10:30, I think it was just after 10:30. Arsenal Football Club, Everton, respectively, started and obviously ex-teammates of these started basically officially confirming what the worst fear. Initially, when the rumours were going about, I'll be honest, I was hoping it was some hoax, that some sick idiot was just on a wind up just to get clicks and views. But sadly, it wasn't to be. We have lost Kevin Campbell, age 54. As I say, Arsenal through and through, South Londoner, came through the ranks at Arsenal Academy, went out on loan in the 89 season. Amazing goal scoring record actually on loan at Luton that season. Was part of the celebrations for the league title win for Arsenal, because obviously the season ended, so he came back and he was part of the match day events at Anfield in the May 26, 89. So celebrated with obviously Rocky, Smith, etc., O'Leary, George Graham. He was part of the celebrations of that night. He was then a couple of years later actually a part of the first team, where we'd go on to regain the league title from Liverpool after losing it the season prior in 1990. And what was better was that we won it as champions against United at Highbury, so got to not only be part of it, be the main figure point of that season, but also to lift the trophy in front of fellow Gooners as well, compared to a couple of years ago where it would have been a select X amount of thousands or whatever. He'll then go on to be part of the 93 League Cup and FA Cup success at Wembley against Sheffield Wednesday, respectively, both finals. He'd then again be a huge part of the run for the following season, in the European Cup Winners' Cup, where Arsenal would go on to play Parma, and we won that 1-0. Aaron Smith scored the goal in that final, but he scored some crucial goals along with Wrighty and others to get us into that final in the first place. And then he was sold to Nottingham Forest in 95. A couple of years later, Forest were in financial trouble, so they decided to sell him to Turkish Trabzonspor, which caused, if anyone doesn't know, he's not old enough to know that, it caused a lot of controversy at Forest, where lots of Mike Crosley and other Forest players, respectively, big key players, went on strike themselves and refused to play for Forest and the owner at the time, because they were so couldn't believe what the owner had just done, basically. And obviously he's obviously gone to Turkey playing for them. And there's a situation there, where other players, his teammates weren't getting paid their wages on time, etc. and the other, which you see it now and then nowadays in the Premier League. And instead of thinking about himself and just going fuck the rest, basically, he went, no, this ain't right. And he went on strike himself there, which then eventually led to him coming back to the Premier League, to Everton Football Club, where he became a cult hero. Well, initially a cult hero, then went on to be an absolute legend at that club, to be the club captain of that club. Was he the first player of colour to ever be captain of Everton Football Club, which was a huge deal even back then. And you guys know I've spoke to him numerous times on here and off air, and he's so proud of that, as you would be. So he did, what was it, 90? He spent about 3 or 4 years there. It was part of the initial Moyes early couple of years, and then in 2004, 2005 season, he ended up at West Brom in January of 2005 in that season, and was immediately made club captain, and was a big part of the reason, leadership wise, why West Brom made that great escape, achieved the impossible, made the great escape, and survived relegation. And then he obviously he ended his career for a few months at Cardiff City, and then retired, and then obviously he's obviously moved up to Manchester, lived in Manchester, had a family, obviously his kids, his nephews, and this, that, and the other, his wife. His boys grew up got into the sport themselves. Tyrese was the most noticeable one because he had currently been at a higher level out of the two. Recently played for Stoke City till recently, and even he's put a statement that today saying thank you for all because there's been so much love for Kevin, rightly so, because he was brilliant. He was fantastic. He was everything. He wasn't just a great footballer for Arsenal, that academy come from the Arsenal ranks and all the clubs I've mentioned already. He wasn't just a great footballer. He was a great person, great teammate, and in general, great friend. And as I've come to know, I'm so lucky now to have known him. The short time I've personally known him, I'm so lucky because as I say, he was brilliant, and there's stuff again, even offline, he was always there for supporting me. 1 second, guys, got a doorbell. Sorry, I've got it on mute. So as I was saying, even with Kevin Campbell, he'd come on. I remember when I met him and all, and asked him. I asked via Claude as well if he'd be interested in coming on the podcast. Always flexible with him, in terms of his schedule and all that. And obviously, he's other bits and pieces. He said no problem. We can sort that out another time. In terms of and he was a man of his word, and he was always happy to come on. Not just his channel, multiple other channels as well. No matter what, in terms of the just starting off, like I was at the time, or whatever, they're doing good, they're going bad, whatever, in terms of big numbers, that didn't matter to him. He just wanted to come on with fellow Gooners or Forest fans or Everton fans, etc., to talk about all things, be it Arsenal, Everton, Forest, etc. And it's just a joy to him. He just enjoyed talking about the respective clubs. And from my point of view, it's brilliant, and came on multiple times. It was just brilliant to talk to him about his time, also his personal stories, about how he came through, what it was like to play under George Graham with all these other players, like Brighty, Rocky, etc. And also the main, obviously we mentioned it already, the night of '89 into the early hours of the morning on from 26th of May to the 27th, basically, and then the next day for the parade and all the events that took place in that time frame. And he was brilliant, and even off air, he was always there. Always there, wanting to talk, even not being about Arsenal, about football, or about life in general. If I weren't feeling too great, he'd be there, basically lending his ear, respectively. Whenever there was idiots out there trying to destroy myself or others, he'd always, again, privately come to us privately, and again, offer his support and just pick you up when you need to be picked up the most. And that summed him up more than anything. That footballing aside, he was just an old school, genuine, down to earth person, salt of the earth, that sadly has been taken from us way too early. Again, 54. There's no age. There's no fucking age, and he's one of the good ones as well. As I say, he's one of the fucking good ones. And the last time I physically saw him would have been a couple of years back with my brother. On the last game of the season, this is when we finished fifth. Again, we finished first. Tottenham finished above us because of we're playing Everton. Everton had just survived to stay up. I think this was under Frank. Frank Lampard at the time. Frank Lampard was the manager at the time. But either way, Everton was last game of the season. Obviously, his connections. So he's been invited by the club, respectively, to come and watch both his teams. Either way, and then me and my brother got there about an hour and a half to the stadium, an hour and a half in advance. And we've come from Holloway Road Station, down the road towards the armory and all that way. And outside the store, there's a queue just forming. And as we got closer, I've noticed it's Kevin. He's just out of his time, and it was belting hot, by the way. He's suited and booted. I think most of you guys have seen the photo as well, because I got in the queue as well myself to say hello and all that and get a photo and this, that, and the other. But just most players these days, especially at the Emirates, especially the younger generation that have most recently played for the club, they'll get dropped off outside by the media centre, and they'll just do their best to get through it all and without being noticed. They get noticed, a few selfies out into the media, and boom, done. He got spotted, and that was it. He was happy to take as much time as it took to get to say hello to everyone, have photos, and this, that, and the other. As I say, in terms of personally for me, that moment, when it came to obviously me coming up to meet up with him again in person for the third, fourth time at this point, he just looked. He obviously was talking to the last person, saying goodbye to them and all that. Turned, saw me, and he went, "Oh yeah." Obviously, my brother's there because he obviously got my brother's at my phone. Because I said to him, because brother's like, "Who's this? Who's this?" Because obviously, my brother's only he's 10 years younger than my brother's 10 years younger than me, so he wouldn't know Kevin Campbell from the Arsenal point of view and why there was such a demand to see him and all that. So I was like, working. I'm explaining that he's ex-Arsenal, came from the academy. He's an Arsenal fan, come through the academy, and then obviously he went off to have a career elsewhere. Up to the point where he retired in 2005. My brother would have been what I think now, 5 going on 6 when Kevin retired. So again, even then he wouldn't have remembered him anyway. So going through all that, and literally he just, as I say, Kev turns, sees me and goes, "Oh," and arms out. So I went for the handshake, and I was happy for the handshake, but no, brought me in, had a massive hug, literally. Said hello, how are you doing? Back and forth, how we all both doing and all that. And yeah, he's asking how the podcast was doing, this, that, and the others, keeping an eye on things, this, that, and the other. He wanted to come on as well. This is about scheduling and all that. I said, that's fine, we can sort it out another time. Obviously, we're going to sit there and do it out there. But we'll sort it out. With no problem, we will sort it. Either at the summer or some point, we will get you back on. But the initial embrace from Kevin took my brother aback, because my brother wasn't expecting that. It's real, I wasn't expecting that. But again, it's just like he's that old school player and person in general. Just a person, forget the player, but person in general that just, no matter what, he would make time. He would take time out of his day for you and anyone else. And even now, because of today, I think that's all I've been thinking about all day, that moment, because that's the last time I physically saw him in person. And it's the news it's hit most of us, but don't get me wrong. It'll hit most. What's really worse? It's going to hit like myself. Obviously, Sophie from the Highbury squad. Everyone needs to go and keep an eye on, go and check on her, because obviously their duoship, their partnership over in the Highbury squad is what's been brilliant about that podcast, and they are close friends, and they all back at each other's backs, this, that, and the other, and they always looked out for one another. And obviously, we all know Sophie. For anyone that knows, Sophie had her own personal stuff going on late last year that he was there for her when she needed it most, etc. So it's going to hit her harder than anyone else because of the bond they had as friends, etc. But anyone that's come in contact with Kevin, this is going to hit hard, massively, or not just contact, but in terms of physically, but even doing things like this. I could be here all day. I can't. No matter what I say, it still wouldn't be enough to sum up what sort of a person and what sort of a man and just a gentleman that he was. And we are, again, as I say, just to end this up, I do want to send out my thoughts and prayers to his family, his friends, his ex-teammates that are now grieving for a great man, a great person, and then again and then for the teammate point of view, a great teammate, someone had their back and vice versa. Just thoughts and prayers go out to them, and yeah, I will not be one of those. I will not be one of those channels that will make things up in terms of why he's gone and this, that, and the other. In terms of what's yeah, you know what I'm saying. I'm not going to speculate. I'm not for that. Never have been, never will be in terms of that side of things. Hate it. And for anyone, so just to put it out there, because we are streaming on YouTube and on X. Anyone that comes at me asking, I will, especially on X, you're blocked. You come in the comments section here on YouTube and do it. My moderator will deal with you, because I'm not for that BS. It's not on. It's not right. and people need to respect the privacy that Tyrese and the family have asked for now. If they want that information out there, they will put it out of their own accord. And now in good time. If they don't, they don't. It's up to them. Do not harass them. Do not harass anyone has ever been close to Kevin, be it his ex-teammates or Sophie or Lee Judges or anyone like that. Anyone that's ever close, or myself, anyone's been ever close to him, do not reach out to us and ask us to speculate, because it will not go down well. And I'm just putting it out there now because, yeah, I'm trying to save you all the wasted time and anarchy. Anyway, just gotta go. Sorry, I'll go back to the chat. We are 20 minutes into against 0-0. We haven't missed much. Hope you didn't mind. I hope you guys didn't mind me doing that now. I will be doing that. I am planning to do a show later on, purely dedicated to Kevin. I'm just trying to sort out, because I don't want it just to be me. My idea is to get other fellow Gooners or football fans on. He didn't even necessarily have to play for your club, just to come on, if you've met him or interacted with him in any way, to come on and just remember the good times, basically. Honour his memory with the good times, if that makes sense. But once I get that planned out and sorted, and people are able to come on and take part in that, I will let you know when that does event, when that's going to happen, in terms of, if not tonight, it'll be tomorrow, basically, one way or the other. I want to do it right. I want to do him justice, because he deserves that more than anything. Big up Stefan in the chat, says rest in peace. Obviously, Kevin, yeah. Chris, he was. There's no final point to it, but yeah, he was. The Tinius link, Mark Cross's interviews on YouTube got a class on a channel called Sport Chippers. His cloth stories are amazing. Yeah, again, Mark Crossy, one of his former teammates at Forest. I think it was on Sky, brought onto Sky Today, talk about obviously Kevin, what he was as a person and all that, like Anna Smith was and all that today. Rest in peace, Kev. Commiserations to the Arsenal family. Not to the Arsenal family, Arsenal family, Everton, West Brom, Nottingham Forest, Cardiff, Trabzonspor in Turkey. All the clubs he's ever represented. He went on people's channels that was not cocky. No, exactly. He wasn't. That's my point. He wasn't like others, so we say, that are only interested to come on if you've got a big enough audience or a big enough pool yourself to put themselves on that platform. He wasn't like that. He wasn't for that life. As I say, he was brought up a certain way from his childhood into his adulthood and all that, and that lived with him throughout his entire life. Even after playing, he never stirred away from that. I'm so honoured to be being a friend of his, and to have met him in person and have them interactions that we've had for the last few years. Some of the few channels, Chris, so it was a bit odd seeing on seeing the news. Yeah, because again, the weird thing was, obviously, everything was fine. I think me and him spoke back in November. This is just before he started becoming ill, and everything was fine, and this, that, and the other. And again, the idea was some point just after New Year, in the little winter break that we had with no Premier League football, he was to come on and have a catch up and give his thoughts on what was going on, how the season was going, this, that, and the other. From a player's point of view, this is the best thing about when he came on as well. Even on the hybrid squad, you see it week in, week out. When he was on the hybrid squad, as Sophie and previously Amanda, was he gave when it came to Arsenal, talked about Arsenal on that channel. It was always from his point of view as a player, being in that situation as a player. We talked about when the discussion went towards in players in general or individuals or collective who were underperforming, or they weren't just making a mark, or there's question marks over players, but also the manager tactically this, that, and the other, because he's been in that fire pit as a player throughout the late 80s into the 90s into the early 2000s. He was able to give a genuine and respected point of view, and even if he didn't agree with you, he never disrespected you. He never spoke down to you. That was never his way. He was like, okay, this is okay. You've got your point of view. I respect that, but as a player in that situation, I've been there, done it, wore the t-shirt, but I'm just going by what I've been through, to get to the way to explain why he has his mindset in certain situations and whatever subjects they may be. And that in itself is priceless, because we can all sit here as fans and chew the fat about whatever, in this case Arsenal, when things are going bad or good or whatever. But when someone's been in that environment in their career, and they can lend that experience and know-how to us and break it down even better for us for being in that environment, that's priceless. GM Lovely says, true and genuine guy. He has left a legacy that many could only dream of. Exactly. Again, it's that old school mindset. Life is short. You've got to do what you do. Live it in peace, and don't vote them as well. Yeah, we'll get onto that another time. But yeah, Jesus Christ, Steph. Oh God, rest in peace, says Canterbury Gooner. Kevin Campbell had the pleasure of meeting him in person at the Tolly. Such a humble guy, always had time for exactly. And that is what I've been saying for the last nearly half hour, bar under 5 minutes. I just disappear because someone's at the door. I've got to do 2 flights of stairs and 2 flights back up and all that. It's all about timing all day, and if I can come on when I've gone live. Dickheads. That sums it up. That backs up what I've been saying this last half hour, basically, about the guy. He was never up. He's never up himself. He never came across it. He never felt. And again, because of how he came across, that humbleness, usually people, ex-players or people will come across that they're humble and they do this, but also you get that vibe that they're like they're just doing it to keep up appearances. That wasn't him. He was to the core humble and down to earth, and would make time for anyone. He would, in terms of an Arsenal point of view, you've met him, I've met him, others have had the privilege of meeting him. He would literally sit down around a table with a beer, and be happy to talk to you all things about either Arsenal itself or football in general, give his point of view on the grand subject of football. It'd be a back and forth, and he'd have a laugh as well. He had a great sense of humour as well. I'll put it this way: I had the privilege of being told by the man himself in person the whole story behind Dickie Bow Thursday, and the fact that I got to hear that, it makes it. I got to hear that from him himself. The reason why he did the Dickie Bow Thursday, no matter what, every Thursday on the dot, and he put the tweets out like he did. It makes him look and sound even better, because it comes the humbleness of that itself and that story. I'm not going to go into it. It's not my story to tell. I'm lucky enough to know it, and others will as well. Spain have just scored, by the way. Malata's just scored 1-0 for defending, but we'll get into that another time. But yeah, even the whole reasoning behind it makes him come across even more humble and more brilliant and more fantastic. And how much more we're going to all miss him, because he is one of a kind. I keep saying it, 54, it's no age. Mad to think him and Rocky are gone. Yep. The thing is, I've obviously did once I got, because I was initially when the news broke, I was out and about doing bits and pieces out and about, so I didn't have the time to get my phone out and put me initial response out in terms of what others have done, what Arsenal have done in terms of like and that obviously they announced and they put their thoughts and prayers out to. So I didn't get a chance to do it until I got in. I've done that on all my socials now. But before I did all that, I deliberately went back onto this channel sort of to a time when, back in the COVID situation, on this channel we did a tribute show to Rocky Rocastle, and this was like planned 3 or 4 weeks in advance. And straight away he was on it. He wanted to come on because it's Rocky as well. Made it even more like important for him to come on and talk about Rocky and give his stories about him and Rocky together as a collective. And how I'll show you in a sec. Actually, the video I clip because I got a little clip from that stream to put out as part of my tweet to get my feelings out there about how gutted I am and how upset I am that we've lost such a great person, and how I've been saying all this last 33 minutes how he was always supportive of me, the channel, anyone, and he was a true gentleman legend and all that. There's a moment in that tribute show though, it was me, him, James Rowe, and Lee Judges on for about just shy of an hour. The show is. I'll put the link in the chat later. But I've got the clip where he's talking about one of his favourite memories of Rocky, and it's from the night of the '89, the night of we won the league title in '89, where the comeback, gone winners, celebrated with other gooners and all that, and he's gone back with the kit man, the physio and all that, and Rocky back to Highbury to drop some stuff off and this, that, and the other and tidy up. And on the steps of Highbury, there's a fellow gooner who's out of it. He's enjoyed himself, so we say. And I'll put the video up in a sec. But when you hear that and how that, even he said at the end of it, he goes, how Rocky was in that moment, how the interaction he gave that fan, how that left an impression on him, and you can tell because that's how he's been with us. Me for the last few years. Claude before we lost Claude, Lee Judges, Dan Potts, Sophie, obviously, little Sophie. I'm trying to think now, and anyone, Everton Rose, that has been on this channel a few times as well. Mr. Daw on tour as well, the Nottingham Forest fan. He was that and so much more. I don't like this no autograph or selfie, but yeah, that's what I'm saying. That's what I was saying before. Like the modern era players that have retired in the last 10 years or so, their mentality is out the window. They literally get dropped off just outside of they get dropped off just outside of the media setup. And there's not a clear pathway, but they have to get out of the side of the road and walk across. And on that day, you're gonna get spotted. If you're an ex-player Arsenal player, you're definitely getting spotted. And most of them get spotted. They try to like jacket over this or cap down and dart for the media part. And if they get spotted, oh yeah, okay, cool, and move, but they don't really put the effort in. Does that make sense? Whereas he just, as I say, that day, boom, he's there, boom, stops, and it's like, okay, it didn't come across like he did it for a chore. He went, and one, he did all that, and he went straight down to Tonington after it was done, straight down to Tonington for half an hour without more gooners. and then come back on himself with all the other with all them gooners and more into the media bit and up to what's the game and all that. That's mad in itself. But yeah, to be honest, it's only my personal opinion. I think he had a much better impact on Everton than Arsenal. He saved them big time from relegation. Yeah, I mean, as I say, he did come through our academy. He did have impacts at Arsenal. He did have an impact at Arsenal in terms of the time frame he was at Arsenal, but his biggest impact in his career was at Everton. From when he came in on loan back into that season, saved him from relegation, then got signed up to a long-term contract, and in the span of that contract, became an absolute club legend to the point where he was made club captain, which was a big deal for him, just in general, let alone what that meant at the time from a certain point of view, as I mentioned already. And I've just seen before going live at half hour before going live, about an hour ago now. There's a video going around now where he's doing a one-on-one interview with someone, and he's talking about the day he met Wayne Rooney when he was at Everton. Wayne Rooney was like 14 years old. This is 2 years before Rooney hit the scenes and did his infamous Rooney against Arsenal at Goodison Park, and how he was told to wrap him up in not cotton wool, but treat him as a first teamer. That was it. And he was like, okay, as in to don't go easy on him, give him your best, basically. And he's talking about all that, and now he did do that, and he was like, but and then Rooney just shocked him in the sense of the touch, the control, the way, the manner, just took him by surprise. So a 14-year-old that to have that impact on a training pitch 2 years before then getting pushed into the first team properly. Yeah. Kev holds the record of being the English player who has scored the most goals in the Premier League without earning a senior cap for his country. That's mad. It is mad when you think about it. He never did get called up, but the competition was mental back then. I mean, Shearer literally booted someone in the air, Neil Lennon in the air. They still got called up, still got allowed to play for his country and keep the armband. I mean, Teddy Sheringham was there as well. It was, yeah. And yes, we have, sadly. I like the way he was helping so many supporters with their YouTube channels. Not many past players that do that nowadays. That's my point. That's what I was saying. But he didn't do it because he felt he had to. He wanted to. I remember as well, even going back again into the COVID. I think it was in the first lockdown. During the first lockdown, May 19th of 2020. We're all in lockdown and all that. And about 3 weeks prior, he'd reached out to me. Because obviously he was doing his own channel at the time, wanted to do his own thing, like one-on-one interview with fans, not ex-players, this, that, and the other, just a one-on-one interview with a fan per episode and all that. And he wanted me to be one of them. And I was just, again, May 19th, the day before my birthday that year, again, going through a lockdown, going through a pandemic like everyone else was. That was brilliant. And I felt so honoured to be a part of that. But again, it was like his own accord. He just came to me of his own accord. The whole point was to help. If I went on he would be promoting this, that, and the other. He'd get more people's eyes on me, promoting the channel, get them over to here, and this, that, and the other. But even when you invited him on, he's like, yeah, even my channel or anyone else's channel, he would say, sure, when we go look at the schedule, I'll get back to you and we'll sort it out. And we would. And it was effortless. It was, isn't it? And even when he was on, you guys know he's been on it when he was on it quite a few times actually. He never came across like he was very keen to get off on and off ASAP. It was purely enjoyment from him and a pleasure to talk with fellow in terms of, again, from my point of view, I'm an Arsenal fan, fellow Arsenal fans about a club that he himself supports and loves himself. But he did the same for Everton fans. I know that for a fact. James Rowe, he did it, and we did it after that tribute we did for Rocky Road Castle. He personally reached out to James Rowe after that and said that let's do something. I want to do a sit down interview with you, where you do an article up and publish it basically off his own back. James went and suggested the idea. Kev came up with the idea himself and went boom. and they did, I mean, that speaks volumes about him himself. Again, even more. I know I'm going on about it for like 40 odd minutes, but that's the impact he's had. I'm gutted. I am genuinely gutted. Like most of us are gutted that we're not going to be able to speak to him either on here or privately and things like that. Yeah, that's been polite around me, but yeah, let's be brutally honest, that's been polite nowadays. It is 2-0 as well. I need a scoreboard out actually. I never did put it up in the end, but it is 2-0. I think Morata scored the first goal. I think he scored the second goal for Spain. I went number 8. I wasn't leaving. I fully focused and talk to you guys about Kev. Let's get that back up. Go back into the comments. Stefan says, I mean, it means a lot for a kid to meet a famous player or pop star, etc. And they don't want to sign program F off. By the way, Spain 2-0. Yeah. But that's what I'm saying. Like, the generation nowadays that are retiring in this last decade, and most recently, I haven't got that mindset. They are so up themselves. It's unbelievable. Well, it's going to be almost 2-1 Croatia. 2-1 got Spain, but yeah, goal back would have been goal back there for Croatia nearly. There's footage of Dave got from Foo Fighters on, but yeah, acting like a twat. But the fans, everyone got smartphones now, so it's out there. But come on, Dave, sign the kid's shirt. Yeah. No, it was a selfie. Depends on the situation, in my opinion. I don't like celebs getting disturbed when out. Well, that's a different matter. Is that in terms of that? If people are being rude about it and just not, if he's out of family, that's a different matter. But when it's just a normal situation, and he's in that, yeah, when it's not that sort of situation, then I'll get that. But when you're getting out of a car and you're on your own, for example, Jan was you're an ex-Arsenal player. You're getting out your car. They've been paid for by the club, by the way, probably. You're out the car. Media centres over there on a match day. There's Arsenal fans that have got to recognise because you're an ex-Arsenal player, and you can't take the time. You cannot take 5 to 10 minutes out of your time to interact with them fans, be it selfies or whatever. You just want to dart for that media entrance and get out of the eye shot. That doesn't sit well with me. This isn't the strong Croatia side. No, it's aging. We've known for the last couple of tournaments with Croatia that it's an aging side, so they don't want to move on. That's their fault. They Clemens didn't sign, but Douglas was just rude, to be honest. Yeah, it's all about egos, isn't it? If your self worth goes to your head, the ego goes out of control, and then you think you're God's gift, basically, like peasant sort of mentality. Then there's no helping you, basically. Is Simeon better than Raya? I'm the wrong person to ask on that, to be honest, given my thoughts on David Raya. But don't know. I mean, Simeon has been the number one for a couple of tournaments now, so I mean, it hasn't gone well for him, but still. But yeah, I hope you guys didn't mind me. Obviously, just I know I said I'll do an individual show for him in person, but I just wanted to get that out. I didn't want to come on here in that situation of knowing what's happened today and not address it and not get my thoughts out there and pay my verbal tribute to him. Yeah, just as I say, pay my respects to him. But, so again, I hope you didn't mind that. And as I say, once I hear back from others, I want to organise a show purely dedicated to him. with multiple gooners or football fans getting around this stream and just talking all things Kevin Campbell in terms of how that individual felt about him and this, that, and their memories of him and their thoughts and this, that, and their love and adoration for the man himself, and just make a sad situation a little bit better for us. Does that make sense? Similarly, as I say, he's been number one for the last couple of tournaments. Doesn't bode well for them, but hey, I don't even know who's the manager of Spain anyway. I don't even know who the manager of Spain is, and Spain aren't a strong. With all due respect, Spain are. I know Spain are winning 2-0, but they're not exactly all that. Let's be brutally honest here. This is the same Spain side that lost to Scotland at Hampden Park, and should have lost to Scotland if we went for some dodgy calls in Spain. And look it up as Scotland last night against Germany. So Spain aren't all that. I have been to Burnings Ground. It's what they're saying in the Blaine at the moment. Yeah, looks all right actually. Right, so yeah, it's 2-0. But I spent most of the first half talking about Kev, but again, I had to because just to get it out there. Oh, it's 3-0 apparently. Oh, let's have a look. Oh, got a set piece coming. Is that Nico Williams? Yeah, Nico Williams Jr. Yeah. Isn't their manager always Del Bosque? Jesus, I'm so, but I'm literally on 46, 39, 40. So this got to be the last kick of the game. Last kick of the half. Here we go. That's balled it. Oh my God. I know we just said they're an aging squad and they're no good anymore, Croatia, but my God, that is when Carvajal, when they're 2-0 up, and Carvajal on the set piece is the furthest man forward. He's the smallest man on the pitch, by the way, or second smallest actually, because Modric is the furthest forward and has acres of space just to go and poke it in like that. And the keeper just goes, you know you're in trouble. But the thing is, because Spain are winning 3-0, people are going to be too much into it and hype them up more than what they should be. It's way onside. It's pathetic defending, ball watching, defending as well. And as you guys know, I hate that's my pet peeve in football is ball watching, defending. Let me change my actual logo 1 sec. So a more respectable colour. There we go. Do that earlier. Oh, because Pep played for Barcelona. Pep managed Barcelona. This is the thing. Pep inherited a good setup from Frank Rijkaard. When Frank Rijkaard got sacked in 2007, I think it was 2007, 2008, around about that time. Pep inherited Frank Rijkaard's work, effectively, and just had a young an 19-year-old Messi to add into that equation of Eto'o, Ronaldinho, Thierry, and then you put Messi. That as a quad. And then you're having Xavi, Iniesta, Busquets coming through, Carlos Puyol and all that. But Pep inherits all that and then goes, little tweak in terms of how more aggressive I want you to be. Apart from that, it's all my work, guys. No, he inherited Frank Rijkaard's work. He put a slight tweak to it, And we all know what happened. The rest is history, really. He done it, and in Germany, goes from that, takes a year off a sabbatical, goes to Germany, does the exact same thing there. He's a god. Goes and then leaves them halfway through the season, pretty much, to come to Man City in the following summer, and with all the billions and billions he's been able to spend, oh, he's a god. He's amazing. His football's so good. Oh, it's boring. It's dull. It's the football itself is not that good, but the false nine, I just say, the false nine wasn't his idea. Everyone wants to make it out to be, but it's because of what he's achieved more than others, so we say, and that's why he gets the credit more than what the origin should do, so we say. Tom's in the chat. Big up, Tom. Hope you're keeping well, my friend. Says Pep is a bored fraud, and he knows it as well. He keeps bringing it up every now and then in press conferences. Oh, first I was a bored fraud, then I was this, then I was that. He's got a Twitter account. He knows we don't like him. We have his number, but it is what it is. The sooner, with all due respect, the sooner Pep goes, either retires or just goes elsewhere, the better it is for the Premier League. It's so much better. Oh, here we go. Here we go. The defence of Pep from Chris, a Liverpool fan, by the way. I mean, if he achieved that at PSG, considering PSG's appalling record, yeah, you can't come afford. You definitely can't. We can't come afford anymore after that. And with all due respect, but you'd have to actually achieve that to actually have that happen. Oh dear. You're going to set Chris off now in the back and forth now, Tom. Bloody hell. Dear. Anyway, Tom, how are you doing anyway? I thought the cheat was technically that, I won't say drug, but it depends on what you want to look at in terms of the asthma pumps. I thought there's asthma pump FC situation in terms of how can I put this without getting in trouble? Making stuff up in terms of, but effectively signing anyone with asthma when the general population of the world, basically, not just the UK but the world, is like so small, and and Klopp in his time at Liverpool has managed to sign every player he signed has mysteriously got asthma. When the pool itself is so small, what are the odds? Every player he signs has asthma, so they have to, but in turn, use a pump or form of medication, so to say, that enhances and is a loophole around the performance-enhancing drugs situation. Just saying. It's a well-known fact. What was it? A couple of years back when we played each other in the semi-finals of the I can't remember its name now, Carabao Cup. A couple of years back, we done us 0-0. We 0-0 draw at your place. Ben White going away, and then when you came back to our place, you done us, was it 2-0, I think, or 1-0? I can't remember now. 2 or 1-0, one of the two. In that time frame, because that was around the COVID, and obviously the games were getting called off left, right, centre, because clubs were being infested with the most recent outbreak, all that malarkey. Hence why what was meant to be the home fixture for us first and all that got rearranged, and because you guys suddenly, the entire squad and youth team all got COVID at the same time, buying 2 players, and then 2 days later you're all fine. Make that make sense. But it was around that time when it then came. The reports, the media report wise, were coming out reporting on that situation about the asthma pump side of things. Like, literally, he couldn't make it up. Like, the general population of the UK, just in the UK, well, but the UK is X, Y, and Z, and the odds on the odds, and they went into that, the odds on Klopp, Liverpool and Jurgen Klopp signing every player they sign would have to have asthma, with the general consensus of being so small as a population percentage. The odds were like 1,000,000,000 to 1 that the chances of him signing every player he signed would have asthma. Going back to Pep, though, Bernie says, I just wish one of these players would turn the F off when he shouts at them on the pitch after the final whistle, as it's awful. Because of course it is. I mean, I remember they say a couple, good few years back, Man City played Southampton. And I think Sterling got it was like a very tight contested, 1-0 or 2-1 win to City, one of the two, either 1-0 or 2-1. Sterling with the last kick of the game winner. And then after the game, even though the game wasn't on Sky, because there's cameras at every game now, he's run on the pitch and gone over to Southampton's Nathan Redmond and started arm around the corner, like shouting and screaming at him, like, and he does it every now and then. It's like, seriously. I remember match day 1 of last season? The season's just finished now. Half time, and he's clearly him and Haaland are clearly not happy with each other. They're having words and back and forth. Cameraman's there, and suddenly he spots it. He walks up and goes, "Fuck off." He literally says the words "fuck off" as well. You catch it ever so slightly in the audio, and he starts throwing his arms up in the air. Like, I cannot confirm or deny these reports, Tom, because I dare not say, for obvious reasons, even though you're obviously pissing about. But yeah, people take that seriously. Go, oh, he's attacking Pep. Can't attack Pep. Pep's a god. No, Pep's 115 charges cheating bastard. Who in his career has never done anything to justify the adoration he has. Everywhere he's been given everything he's done in the career as a manager is because it's been put on a plate for him, quite literally. I meant before, the Barcelona setup in terms of the squad he inherited and the setup itself was all there on the plate. All he had to do is just come in and continue that with a slight tweak, as he done with the possession based and more aggressive, run off the ball and had that ball down. And then obviously from that, takes the year off, goes to Bayern Munich. Again, it's on a plate for it. It's set as all the entire system and team was there, set up ready for him to go. So there's no challenge him, but apart from this season just gone. In the time that he was there was no genuine challenge for him for the Bundesliga or the cups and this and the other. He then obviously goes to City, and he's made it he's made this league a pharmacy because he's come in just before the loopholes were all closed up, spent bucket loads of money on a squad, on multiple squads actually, technically, if you think about it. And now in a situation with the loopholes closed now, even though he's got an Asian squad, he's now got an Asian squad, ironically. He can't do what he did before in terms of the league. It's got to be a slow, gradual thing now. That's why they're kicking off, I think, anyway. That's why they've been so dominant for the last 7 years. Six out of the last 7, they've won the league title for quite a now. So, yeah, it's tiresome. Even putting the last 2 seasons aside from an Arsenal point of view, it's tiresome watching the same team just win it. It's like watching Man United in the 90s. It's so tiresome. And much as you're going to see them win the trophy, it's like, seriously. All right. I better go do some national nonsense. Are you doing any shows tonight, Tom? By the way, or are you planning for? Was it all the late night stuff? They have brought the right players, and he has managed them superbly. Considering the 115 charges and charges and all that, and if they are to be they are being found guilty, they don't win their appeal effectively. At some point in the next 7 to 8 months, they get told, no, suck it up. We're charging you in terms of these are your punishments now. These are your punishments X, Y, and Z. And what that means then, that basically you've been conned for the majority of Klopp's era. You've been conned out of 3 or 4 titles, along with the one you did win, but 3 or 4 other titles. You're very much kiss ass towards Man City suddenly. They've potentially done us out of 2 times by cheating, but that doesn't sit well with me. If that's the case. You know what? It's half time. I did mention I'd do it before. This is as I mentioned before. I did my tribute post on social media, including X, a few hours ago, and all that. I'm just going to get it up now. 1 second. You bear with me because I put the last time I saw him with that photo, along with a clip of one of the times he came on this channel, basically. So I'm going to pause it, get it up on the big screen. No. We're going to go share screen. Go. Share. That. Let's go like that. And as I say, this is a clip that I grabbed up earlier from during the lockdown, the COVID pandemic, and it was the Rocky Rocastle anniversary on the day itself. This was live. This was done live on the day of Rocky Rocastle's anniversary during the COVID pandemic. And this is what we're going through. Basically, the gist of it is at this point we're all giving our favourite moments of Rocky Rocastle. Like Lee did his, and it was James, and I did my favourite memories of Rocky and all that. And then Kevin, what you're about to see now was Kevin giving his story and reasoning why this was his favourite moment, etc.
My favourite point, obviously, you might have heard about it, but was after '89, and we've been to the Winners' Club, and we come back to the ground on the coach. So it was only myself, Rocky, Tony Donnelly, the kit man, and Frank, the driver. So we're taking all the skips off, and there's a gooner on the steps, out blitzed. He was out of it. So Rocky turned to me and said, "Rambo, should we wake him up?" So I said, "Yeah, let's wake him up." So Rocky gets 3 beers. We wake the fella up, and the guy's like, "Rocky, I can't believe it. I can't believe it's Rocky." So Rocky said, "You know, what was your night like?" And the guy went about telling us he was in the Arsenal tavern, and it all kicked off, and he's not going home the whole weekend. And we said, "We know that. We can see you not going anywhere right now." So we took him in the Marble Halls. We had a beer with him and stuff like that, and he was just so delighted to speak to Rocky, and Rocky showed him his medal and stuff like that. There ain't many players who would have done that.
Nah, that's great.
Many players might have said, "Hello, mate, how you doing?" But take the time to sit with him and talk to him, and that left a massive impression on me. And then after that, the guy went off, and me and Rocky shared a taxi from Highbury to Brixton, and he had the taxi driver playing all the Bob Marley songs, and it was just, that for me, that's what Rocky was like. He transcended football, man. He was just a top guy, and we done it all again on this Sunday because it was the on the Sunday it was the parade.
Parade, yeah.
So it was brilliant, absolutely brilliant.
Those parades were fantastic back when they, like any parade like that at the Arsenal's fantastic. Thousands and thousands of fans.
Town hall, down at the town hall, and people on the swinging off the lamp posts and all sorts.
Oh, I could do with a day like that again. I'll tell you,
Could do with a couple of them, Lee.
Yeah, a couple of them.
Yeah, so So as I say, I wanted to show that. To explain what I was trying to say earlier about one of these appearances on the podcast was that and I used that moment, that clip. Sorry, I've got that clip up, and I could use that as part of my tribute towards it and all that. Yeah, I mean, I could quite easily on this channel, multiple occasions on it, and grab anything up and put it on in terms of use that. Could have used it as my thing for him, basically, my tribute towards him and all that. Because there's so many memories and situations where I can do that, and others can do that. Basically, I'm just so honoured to have known him and met him, and yeah. And like Stefan says, should be a postulation that players are decent to fans, don't cost anything but is priceless to the fan. Yeah, it is. It's just the effort, making an effort, going that extra step further for that, in this case, a fan, this supporter, who, no matter what, you go that extra yard just to make their day, make their moment, basically. Yeah, it doesn't cost you anything. It doesn't hurt anyone, and you go out and make someone happy. What's the harm in that? A lot of the younger generation, as I mentioned before, could take heed from that, so to say, and instead of having the mentality I mentioned before, going media entrance, get like hi, cap down and all that. Actually genuinely go out of their way to make efforts with the said support of their club they're representing and all that. Make that effort, put that time in, put that effort in, and bay the fruits of what that comes after that, in terms of how that makes you as a human feel, as a person, in terms of what you've done for someone and making their day, and go, be it, even if it doesn't have to be a child, could be anyone in that child, like young child, teenager, even an adult, from a sporting point of view, be it football, rugby, or whatever, even tennis. When it comes to like the Andy Murrays of this world, just going out their way, like, in a few moments, means everything to a fan, be it of whatever sport, be it rugby, as I say, rugby, tennis, football, whatever. It doesn't hurt anyone either, and it goes a long way, and it actually makes you look good. It builds a good reputation. Builds you a good reputation of being a good, genuine human being. To be honest, to a kid, to be honest, yeah. I remember, again, not the players' fault in this situation actually, but I remember a good few years back now, because obviously it's going to doozy, when we I think it's the Unai Emery season, the Unai Emery full season. I can't remember we were playing. I think it might have been Southampton. No time. Yeah, Southampton, because Bournemouth was that night. It was Southampton at home. And after the game, we won, and after the game, Guendouzi took his shirt off as he's going towards the tunnel. Took his shirt off, seen the kid, and gone over to the kid to give the kid his shirt, and some a-hole has barged through, grabbed the shirt from Guendouzi, ripped it out of his hands, and legged it out of the stadium, leaving the kid in tears. So then Guendouzi said, "Wait there," went back in to his changing room, grabbed his spare shirt, signed it in the dressing room, came out with a pen, and then came out with that shirt with a pen and said, "What's your name?" Hold it, and gave that one to the kid. But I remember Jeremy Adiadier? Not last season, the season before. As after the game and all that, I've coming down them steps near the media entrance, and as I've come off the steps and gathered myself where I want to go, if I'm going to go either towards Holloway Road, like that way, and go and get something to eat down that way, or do I go towards Finsbury Park that other way? Eddie has come out of a few of his. Jeremy Eddie has come out of a few of his friends, I'm assuming. He's turned round. He's got one of them the Peaky Blinder hats on things. Them sort of caps on. But he's come out, looked round. I've recognised him straight away. I've done that. I've not. I want to see. Obviously, I've wanted to see what his reaction would be. But he's looked round. He's made contact with my eyes. I've made contact with him. But he starts turn and bolt because he didn't want anyone else to recognise. And he's bolted for his transport basically. And that spoke volumes to me, the sort of person he is. And he gets paid by the club, for fuck's sake, to do co-coms on the Arsenal website. Doesn't bode well for him. The way he couldn't say hello. I say made eye contact and all that. He couldn't have the courtesy to say hello or a gesture of hi, basically. Oh God. Guardiola is crap, by the way. And nearly 4-0 Spain. I mentioned it before, but I met Martin Peters years ago. Very classy guy. Rest in peace, Martin. Yeah. But as I say, a lot more of like the years of this generation that have been retiring in the last decade plus need to take heed and actually look how the older generation, how they behave, how they conduct themselves. David Seaman, I've met David Seaman, fantastic. Again, like Kev, will make all the time in the world for you. If you bump into him, he'll make all the time in the world. He won't. Again, it's not an effort to him. They say ever. Tony Adams is the same. Dixon, Winterburn was the same. Parler, all that generation, and that says it all. The generational gaps, like that generation them generation of players, they make the effort. They don't see it as a chore or hardship or anything like that. Whereas this generation nowadays, sadly, don't see it like that. It's like a chore to them that do I have to? Oh, well, again, it was 4-0. Crazy crap. Realistically, look, let's be honest. Croatia should have used the limited time because of how late the World Cup came, because it had to be put into our winter period and all that. But they needed to use this small time frame they had to rebuild and start again in terms of start blooding some of the youngsters in, because they're too heavily reliant since the Russia World Cup. They've been too heavily reliant on the experienced heads to keep going. And now we're seeing the fall out of them, basically. Perisic, even Perisic hasn't played a game of football all year. Literally, he did his ACL a week before the season started in the Premier League. He played not a game of football. He was loaned. He was even loaned out, even though he couldn't play a game of football this year. Tottenham loaned him out for some bizarre reason to, I think it's a Croatian club, even though he couldn't play. So he hasn't played a single minute of football, and he's been bought. He's been taken to the Euros. That just backs up what I say. They're just too heavy to line. There's going to be 3 all blocked, punched, and all that in the air from the goalkeeper, and the defenders are getting away. Rodri's been a twat, and there's a goal kick after all that. Hmm. I feel sorry for all these fans that have travelled out, like Croatia, that have travelled to Germany to support their obviously support their country and all that. And like I say, like the manager, just like I say, and it says it proved the point of Ivan Perisic been in that squad and being brought on now. Too heavy of an iron on the Asian players that have gone one tournament too far. Clearly, when you're getting pumped by Spain, who, by the way, not all that nowadays, who even Scotland can beat, then you know you're in trouble. Stefan says, talking to Sweety's words, Liam will be on tomorrow. I know that for a fact for the England game tomorrow night. But I think today he had a family event planned. Obviously, his wife, his two boys, and I think his in-laws and obviously his parents and all that will come in and have a big family day in the garden and all that. So yeah, that's the reason why we're not going to see him today. Oh, almost 4-0. Offside. Is that Michael Oliver? Of course it is. Didn't know it was a reference until then. Fucking hell. But yeah, Liam will be on tomorrow for the England watchalong as well, and we are more likely either some point tomorrow before that or after. We will be doing a tribute show to Kevin Campbell, like it should be dedicated. That's one show purely dedicated to him, not just me doing a 45 minutes tribute to him on here, and that's it. I want to get other fans like Liam on here and pay their tributes as well. And we will, as I say, we'll get that organised. And once I get that all organised, you guys will be the first to know. Trust me on that. But even he's been hit hard because last year, last year, hold on my head for a second. Last year on Liam's wedding day, last year, Kevin Campbell did a personal video message for Liam on his wedding day. And obviously, I think he did a podcast with Kevin Campbell on here with myself a few weeks prior to that. But then again, Kevin Campbell, he wasn't paid for anything like that. It was again him just going out of his way, and then on the day to record, do it all up, record it, send him good luck and all that for the day, but sent it to him personally on the day itself, and that says it all about Kev as well. That has more credit to Kevin's bank, basically. That makes sense. So even Liam took it a bit hard over obviously the news last week of him being in hospital and all that. Sorry, one sec. And then obviously the news breaking this morning, it took him a bit aback as well. Did he go on AFTV? Haven't watched it since court. Oh, I don't know, actually. I genuinely don't know. I have no idea. In terms of that channel, I have no idea. I'll be brutally honest there on that one. I know he's been on, like, I think it's Dan Potts' channel a few times. Lee Judge's channel. Obviously, he was on there a few times. I'm trying to think now. Obviously, Hybrid Squad is Heath and Sophie's thing. And I think he went on Little Sophie as well. Been on her channel a couple of times. I'm trying to think bloody channels now. I think even Andrew, when Andrew was doing his podcast, Kev went on there way back when. I'm bloody trying to think now. My head's going in the overdrive trying to think of what else he's been on. Bloody hell. He had his own thing briefly at one point. That had me. I'm trying to think. We've been on so many. So I'm trying to back it all up now. But yeah, in terms of AFTV itself, I don't recall you've been on recent since that situation. I can't remember. I'd have to go back and check at some point when I get offline. But yeah, I'll be able to confirm that tomorrow. That's all right, Stefan. In terms of during the England watch along. Still waiting for my experience money for coming on Mr. Varstal, not a penny. Okay. For that to happen, you'd have to actually appear. The clues in what you just said, appearance. Just popping in the chat doesn't class under the appearance. Otherwise, I'll be on air for one fucking money. Jesus. I mean, it worked like that. Oh dear. Gotta laugh. Oh dear. Obviously, I was on the other channel, not an Arsenal related channel, but it was Everton channel, Everton called Everton Rose. I was double check that now actually. He was on there. He's been on there multiple times. Door on Tour, the Nottingham Forest fan channel. He's on there. Literally 2 days after Forest got promoted to the Premier League. Within 48 hours, he was on there with Door and other Forest fans celebrating that. And again, just sums it up that there's no one club, and that was sort of it for, in terms of affiliation and love for. He loved everyone, every club he played for. He loved all their fans and their clubs respectively for what they meant to him personally. He didn't have no favourites, this, that, and the other. Even though he was an Arsenal fan, so there's a slight edge. But even then, you would never have known it because of how he just the way he conducted himself. You would never know if he had any favourites or not. And that's the best thing about it. Need to go to the supermarket. I've seen a clip of them promoting it so far where they're talking about the infamous 2005 Highbury Tunnel situation with Roy Keane and Vieira. And Wright is sitting next to Keane. He's like, I wish I was in that tunnel because I would have been at the back going, you shut up, get behaving you. And the banter side of it, and Roy Keane goes back and says, and I would have come back and decked you one. I told you I'd piss off. But in terms of Vieira and Roy Keane, the respect they have for each other now, since they're retired, respectively, they do have a respect for each other as ex-players, rivals that went head-to-head. They do have that respect. It's not like they carry on that vendetta against each other into their retirement and all that. I'm just gutted that Crystal Palace fucked over Vieira the way they did, because they did fucking move him. Yes, the form wasn't great. Don't get me wrong when he did get sacked. But look at the teams he was playing in that time frame. When the form went downhill a bit, it was against the top 10 for crying out loud. All Morata's going off. Rodri's mentality is getting the armband. Morata's not happy he's getting taken off, by the way. What was I saying now? Oh, I completely forgot. It's gone up. Palace, yeah. When Vieira got sacked, when the form dipped for him at that time, he was playing every game was against top 10 opposition. Not one was against the team in and around. The second they sack him, the games coming out were teams in and around him that he could have got points out of, which Roy Hodgson did. And Roy Hodgson's a god, apparently. Okay. Only for him to then be sacked, basically. Just over a year later. Yes, it was Stefan. Just answer any quicker. For any quicker, sorry. Yeah, it was. Gary Neville, Carragher, Roy Keane, righty. And they have a special guest at the top of the table. This week it was Vieira. What was it? There's a few weeks back. There was a clip going around where they're going. The whole segment of that particular podcast was looking back on Roy Keane's red cards throughout his time at Man United and all that. And every single one that they actually showed it to each other. And they put it up. They didn't edit it because they didn't put it out. Well, they did. They then edit the footage onto the screen so we can see it as well. What they're showing. And every time Roy Keane's saying, "Not a foul." Brilliant tackle. What are you on about? Never a red card. It was like the blatant, even nowadays, it'd be regarded as a red card, and that's saying something. It was like 2-footed headbutting, Shearer, this, that, and the other. Nope, that's okay. What are you on about? Get up. And then you got Neville, you got Gary Neville and Wright just pissing themselves every time he goes to defend himself. Keane on every single challenge they're showing him, he's like, and they're just pissing themselves like, come on. Oh, Nico Williams Jr. and Malata have been taken off now properly. Jose Bazel and Marino are coming on for Spain. The second half, I know they're feeling up and all that, but it's coming so much more. To be honest, Spain have had a few chances to add to this. It's Croatia. Is this I'm trying to think now. This is Group B, isn't it? So it'll be interesting to get second. If this is Croatia now, because don't forget, 3.5 years ago, this game played out in the quarterfinals. I want to say the quarterfinals of the last 16. To be honest, like 3 years ago, and it was a 2 or 3 all draw, wasn't it? One of the two went to penalties. Yeah, that was it. Yep, that was it. And Neville and Wright are just there pissing themselves. Even at that, they're just like, "What do you want me to fucking do? What did you want me to do? I'm gonna have a fucking bitch." And Wright just there pissing. Wright just there pissing himself as well. Just loving it. Like the fact that he's like everyone else's fault but his. Well, if it's not that, it's never a foul. It's never a red. Refs just had it in for me. Yeah. Yeah, the thing with Chris Sutton, I don't know. I just can't. I don't know. I just can't stand the guy. Yeah, he might be in one match in Scotland in terms of the rivalry between Rangers and Celtic, but in general, he's just an absolute tool sometimes. He has that ego mentality. He comes across like he has that big ego mentality of being an absolute knobhead when he's off the camera. Be like staying Collingwood, basically. In terms of, yeah, I'll do a job, I'll be professional, and say all these things to come across a bit of banter and all that. But off camera, he's like that, but so much worse. Oh dear. It's number 7, Rakitic. Seriously, why have they not moved on from these players? They're all, like, the entire midfield has got to have an average age of 50 at this point. Just the midfield alone. You got what was it? Luka Modric is 39, 38, what else? Going 30, either 38 going on 39 or 39 going on 40. You got Rakitic is not far off that as well. You just showing on Perisic as well. Fucking hell. Yeah, he's up. I went to the game for Grenfell. When obviously all them years ago when that all happened, and obviously QPR came together when they organised a charity game to raise funds for Grenfell, obviously using the name. And Stan was part of the one of the two teams. I can't remember what team he was on for, but he was part of the ex-players and all that, all celebrities that came forward to take part in that game. And afterwards, after the game, they're all coming out, and they're like players and celebrities are coming out, taking selfies or signing stuff, this, that, and the other, and interacting with the fans that are still there hanging around, giving their appreciation for taking part in what they did. And he just comes out straight to his car and fucks off. And then McCoy's is like, yeah, I like McCoy. Even though during the season, some of the games he's commentated on for Arsenal have done my head in sometimes because he goes against the grain. That's what we're seeing. Just because, apart from that, yeah, as a guy, I like him. He's a likable person. He has that likable personality. And again, last night we were watching the game last night because I had the sound on a number 2 on my monitor here. I could just about hear who's commentating this, that, and the other, and get a sense of the atmosphere. And I just, and of course, he's in co-coms, and I felt so bad for him because obviously, being that he's Scottish and all that, and what this would mean for him as an ex-Scotland international as well, and also as a Scotland fan, to see his country in a major tournament opening night as well, to see what happened. I felt bad for Colin and Mark, but bloody Ali McCoy is there to fucking work and get paid to watch that and summarise what was going wrong. Whilst they're at Notting Hill, they're very sober, and yeah. And still, was how long? It was 78. Was it the anniversary this week? Wasn't it as well? It was 79. It was its 7 or 8 year anniversary this week, just gone. And obviously, still nothing's been that inquiry and all that. That's not, and it's still not come to a head and beat the powers that be, the Tory basically not being held over the coals of that. But that balls up and I'm using the balls up being PC because obviously kids could be watching. Should never have happened. Yeah, I don't want to get political on this, particularly on this stream, but what happened should never have happened. Under the right guidance, I would say, that whole situation never happens. Fucking smile, mate. Bloody hell. The UEFA president, I'm not going to try and pronounce his name. The UEFA president is there in the stands, in the box, at this stadium. He's there. He looks confused but angry at the same time. Stefan says, "We agree." Yeah, I'm not going to go into it, but yeah. Oh dear, Stefan. Out of interest, Stefan, are you on? Was it July 4th? Are you going to do an all-nighter and see the results pile in and hopefully go our way for once? Or are you going to have an early night and hopefully wake up with some good news on July 5th? I'm tempted to go, depending on obviously situations and all that near the time in the next few weeks. If I'm not busy that day going into the next day, I might just have a kick throughout the day on the 4th. If as the schedule works and all that, an early night, fair enough. I don't blame you, to be honest, but depending on the situation on my end, I might just have get my 8 hours in during the day, early afternoon sort of time. Yeah, I thought late afternoon, early evening, sorry, and just try and pile through the night basically. In terms of, even if it means I'm got the results coming in on one monitor, and then either watching YouTube or playing PlayStation or something just to get past the time, and just watch the results come in and hopefully watch the Tory downfall and hopefully a red wall rise up. I don't do a. Okay, so you're doing an all-nighter then. Oh dear, just watch it and then literally what the very next stream I can do after that be here, win red going, hey, fuck you. This second half has been a bit drab. I know it was 3-0 hard. The game was done by half time anyway, but and Spain have had a couple of chances to add a fourth and a fifth and all that a couple of times throughout the second half. But in general, it's just been a drab game. It's like, in terms of the second half, just going through that motion of, oh, for God's sake. One sec. Sorry about that. Come back and penny. Okay, sure, got a penalty. Bloody hell. After that time, I'll come back to your comments in a sec. One sec. Oh dear. Penalty Croatia. Didn't see if it was a foul or not. Penalty taken. Oh, he saved it. Persic pulls it back and Petrovic puts it back in. Oh. Stefan says pen check. He did look like his arm once. Let's have a look. I think he gets away with that. I think his foot's hanging over the line. He does end up 20 yards off the line, but his last foot is hanging over it by the looks of it. But either way, they've scored from the rebound, so it shouldn't matter in that sense. Goal what for? What for fuck's sake? What's goal why? What have I missed? Oh my god. Well, they'll disappear for 5 seconds, but they get a penalty and then they score the rebound. Nothing wrong with the rebound, but I make out there's no offside. What I saw anyway. And then the goal's been ruled out for what? What is going on? What did they do wrong? Wrong there. He was on. Can someone in the chat explain that to me? The penalty's been taken. The keeper's obviously his last foot was on the line. No problem there. Persius has got to the ball. He's pulled it back across, literally back on, like to the penalty taker. Missed it. The penalty taker's behind. It's not like he's in line or in front. He's behind. He's tapped it in for 3-1. Where's the offence? Can someone explain this to me? If I missed something, Brownie or Chris or anyone watching, if I missed something there, I'll do something for 5 minutes. A bit of drama at the end here, but still, it still doesn't go their way. Oh dear! Right, go back into the chat whilst we wait for that to be cleared up. Labour, to be fair, Stefan, Labour are better than what they have been for the last, well, since they got kicked out basically in 2010. This is the best we've had of the best situation for Labour and the best Labour setup since then. Miliband, we had the wrong Miliband brother for the first time round, and then obviously that after that spell, and obviously the wrong Miliband brother losing that election and stepping down. What would have been the right one told us sort of piss off. We then got stuck with Jeremy Corbyn in that whole fiasco in terms of the anti-Semitic and all that drama and this, that, and the other, and trying to pull the party so far one way, away from the centralising it, put it far back to the old roots that never got us in the first place. Hence why Thatcher has such dominance for many years. And so John Major, Paul Blair came along and centralised everything. And it's sort of, the things aren't maybe not perfect. They're still in. Labour as a party is in a far better position than it was under Corbyn in terms of unity. There's none of this anti-Semitic stuff going on either now. That was dealt with straight away. They're more got the going in the right mindset now. There's still a bit of way to go to go back, be fully back to where they were under Blair in terms of the mindset completely. But from the modern day twist of 2024. But it's going in the right direction. So in my opinion, we will be better. we will be fine. Assuming Labour were to, assuming Labour were to get in, we'll be fine. He's not going to just change overnight. Don't get me wrong, but over the 5-year term, you won't see all this divide and conquer bullshit that we've seen for the last 14 years of this current government. I want to be the top man. I want to be the top man. I want to be this. I want to be that. You won't see that under Labour. Touch wood. Famous last words. No, I get in terms of your experience, Bradley. I mean, if it, the situation there is you got Welsh Labour, a Welsh Labour government in Wales leading, trying to push Wales forward and all that, but they're they can only do so much because they're going up against central government that's run by the opposite party, the opposition, effectively. It's like butting heads, basically. It's not going to work. You need unity. You need the central government party to be the main government party to be the same party as what you are in terms of, in this case, Welsh Labour. They need a Labour for it all to be in sync. No political BS in terms of point scoring and all that, and just you'll see a better system around system. It was like, it makes sense. I thought they were going to retake. That's what I'm saying. I'm confused. I have no idea what happened there. Because he missed the penalty. The keeper saved it. And the keeper's foot was technically on the line. Well, not on the line, but it was hovering above the line. So technically, no rules there. It fell to Perisic. Perisic pulled it back, not across or just in front. He pulled it back to the penalty taker. He's then slotted it in, make it 3-1. I didn't see the offence. Should have been a red card for Rodri too, or Shokari gets away with something. What a surprise. Glad never gone to the rock. He would have been a great PM. Yeah, mate, this is the thing. He made a mistake in one sense, in the sense of he took information that what we're being told nowadays wasn't true, whatever. But at that time, he thought he was doing what was best, not just for the country, but for the greater good of not just our country, the world, but respectively Iraq as well, because of the dictatorship and what was going on, what was going on, no matter what the information was given to him in terms of weapons or whatever. There was a dictatorship. There was things wrong, basically. Something needed to be done either way. Yet, current regimes, I would say, running the UK can literally get away with murder, effectively, and nothing can be like said or done in terms of criticising them to the same level. If that makes sense. Yeah, this is the thing with Lib Dems. They want you to. They're hoping everyone's forgot that they got into bed with Tories in 2010. It's because of that. It's because of Lib Dems that this country is in this situation, because if they'd gone the way everyone believed they would have got this, they were going to go in terms of partner up with Labour. None of this last 14 years would have happened. But the money that's been given by London is coming from Tories. So Tories are playing political mind games to make other areas look worse than what they are. Why would they want to, from a Tory mindset, why would they want to, I didn't want to go political, but okay, why would they want to give as much money as possible into a Labour-run area, or in this case, country, which would make Labour Wales look good, which then in turn make the Tories look bad from outside of Wales, which will benefit Labour in general. I'm just saying if Labour do get in on July 5th, whatever, and get a new government and that side of things, just give it 2 years, 2.5 years, and see if you can notice any differences between now and when that in the future, basically. When you've got central government singing off the same hymn sheet as the Welsh Labour Party, basically, because they're both the same party. If there's a more cohesive gel and movement in the right direction. I'm not getting into all that again, the hierarchy setup and all that. This is the thing, Stefan, in terms of obviously recent events with the whole Israel-Palestinian situation. None of our of the UK parties have actually come out well on this, because none of them have actually done the right thing. One way or the other, they've not done the right thing. Let's not get it. They've been either sit on the fence FC, or they just shut up shop, unless they want to make a political point, score points on each other. So that's in the current situation of that. What's going on there? That hasn't helped. That no party's benefited well from that at all, because they've all messed up. I'll hold my hands up, and I can say that. Yeah. I've not seen it myself. I have to look into that stuff, and I'm not seeing it myself. If they do that, then if they get in and they go down that route, then they've gone completely away from what Blair did and Gordon Brown did, basically. They can't, because they'll be out again in 5 years. That's the thing. And the trust us won't be there, basically. They'll screw themselves over, basically. They need to sort of wise up. They can't be solid. They can't contemplate that, surely. As I say, I've not seen that, heard that myself, so I can't really give a proper comeback on that either way. Anyway, we're into the second 2.5 minutes into the 5 minutes of injury time, by the way. Still 3-0. It is what it is in terms of this game. As I say, Spain are winning 3-0, but they ain't gone for the kill and try to kill up the goal difference. They're just happy with the 3-0 sort of thing. This is a Spain side that lost to Scotland in Scotland, and technically should have lost to Scotland in Spain. And as we all saw yesterday, Scotland aren't all, with all due respect. So this Spain side will get up. They will get nowhere near the front. I'm telling you now, this Spain side is nowhere near good enough. This is the thing, though. I get in one sense, I get what you're saying, Stefan. But the Lib back in 2010, the Lib Dems, Nick Clegg and all that had a chance to make that 1v1 situation between Tories and Labour. They had a chance to make it a three-way race, basically. And they made, and obviously with all everything they were saying and everything that was going on at the time, obviously the votes were split 3 ways respectively. But they fucked up. as much as it, and that's what we say. You're saying about Labour and Tories being outdated. If the Lib Dems hadn't fucked up in the first place, maybe they'd have more chance nowadays, since then, to have gained on that and not just gone backwards, set their party backwards, back to square one, like they have done. And they have done. Let's be brutally honest, they have done. You look at the election results since 2010, every election we've had, they're nowhere near what they were, nowhere near that 2010 setup. But they decided to get in bed with the posh boys and throw their morals out the window, literally. And we've had to pay the consequence of that for the last 14 years nearly. Well, it is over 14 years now, actually. Didn't want to go political, but I've gone political. Thank God for that. The game's over. Because the Tories don't care, Stefan. I think Thatcher and Sir John proved that point, and then for the just shy of I think 97, 2010, for the 13 years Labour was in government. Just yeah. I'll say it's gone now. Yeah. Yeah, that was it. 13 years Labour were in government under Blair, that whole setup. The best the Tories could get was go to the young David Cameron. He said all the right things to get ask that question basically. And it came down to three parties, and obviously being that Labour were in power, they were I think they're just ahead as well. But either way, the Lib Dems had enough votes to sway either side, so they had the choice and they had the meetings and all that, and then fucked it up, and then set themselves back to square one. Everything Clegg did in that 2010 setup to get the Lib Dems noticed and pushed and put them on that direction, he fucked it up. And the people that have took charge of that party since Clegg's walked away, they were part of his setup that were accepting all this. They took the money. So the thing is, everyone complains that this first past the post is best suited for Labour and the Tories. Well, technically, 2010 proved different. If you do what prior to obviously doing what you did in terms of leading the party, having the mandate, and saying what you're saying, getting people on board with the Lib Dem mindset of that time, you can get yourself in there. And if you've got it right, maybe it'd be a different situation now in terms of being not just on one v one. It could be literally three big parties going up against each other every election. But no. But anyway, it is what it is. We've got a few more weeks and we find out the answers to how things will play out there in terms of that whole side of things. Didn't want to go political and all that. We sort of touched on it briefly. Don't want to go too much into it, but yeah. But yeah, we are done. This is the only stream I'm doing today, even before the news that came out this morning about Kevin. The other two games didn't stand up with weren't informing for me to go, you know what, I'm going to do this game as well, this, that, and the other. No. I'm going to go away now, get some respite, have a chat with some people, try and set up this stream I want to do for Kev, to pay tribute to Kevin properly. Also set up the stream for tomorrow night's Watchalong for England versus Serbia. And yeah, that's my voice as well, because it's starting to hurt now. I'll be here tomorrow with Liam and whoever else can find to come on as well. Is available on the Father's Day as well. That's really interesting. And watch England versus play Serbia in our opening group game. What could go wrong for Southgate? What could go wrong? Hey, shouldn't be a problem, but it probably will be a problem somehow. I'm going to be out of here. If you haven't already, do smash the like button, do subscribe. If you're watching this on next, come over to the YouTube channel, Mr. Arsenal Podcast. Check us out. Subscribe to the channel, share the content around, and help promote the channel as much as you possibly can. It'd be massively appreciated. And we'll see you tomorrow, one or the other, 7:30 for England versus Serbia. Keep saying it. And then we'll go from there, basically, in terms of the rest of the content and what I said, my plan is for a one-off special show as well, dedicated to Kevin, etc. as well. Keep an eye out for that. Once I know the information on that, we'll get that sorted for you guys as well. But yeah, I'll be out of here and take care. Basically, thanks. I want to say thanks to everyone that's popped into the chat. Obviously, all the usual suspects, all the ones watching on X as well, and all the interaction and all that, and obviously giving your thoughts on Kev Campbell, this briefly on the game, briefly, big object word, and then obviously just keep the chat going, basically, flowing, yeah, making the most out of a bad day, basically, from a football point of view, with Kev's the Kevin Campbell news. But yeah, we are out of here. Take care of yourselves, guys. We'll see you tomorrow, and as always, up the Arsenal. Come on, you Gunners.